piece of our puzzle this evening of speakers. I'd like to welcome up Carrie Nagro, who is an autism advocate and also another colleague of ours from Autism Speaks in New York. So thank you for joining us, Carrie.
Autism Speaks is not Autism Speaks today without Walking Home for Autism Speaks. I'm not sure if any of you really know the impact that you guys bring from a national scale, but let me just throw out some numbers real quick. This year alone, Autism Speaks, we have about a little bit over 200 employees. Worldwide, we have about over 400,000 volunteers and walkers. That impact alone shows us, the 200 employees at Autism Speaks, that it's you, that it's all of you in this room that make what Autism Speaks what it is today. And honestly, without all of you, for the past 10 years, we wouldn't have been able to give over $525 million towards our cause. Can we just give a round of applause? It's phenomenal. So feedback and opportunity. Thank you all for doing what you do, because we couldn't thank you enough, honestly. So, my story. So 8 years ago, I started walking for my Northern New Jersey Walking Home for Autism Speaks events. Close to home, I'm Jersey State born and raised, and I've always lived in New Jersey. And I started to walk when I came out to my peers for the first time about having autism. Growing up as a kid was definitely very, very difficult. When I was 2.5, my parents thought that I was going to start talking. And I didn't. I was nonverbal until I was 2.5. And for almost a 1.5 years later, we had to go to the best doctors, the best pediatricians, basically anyone who would see me to see what was going on with me. And when I was 4 years old, I was diagnosed with a specific type of autism called basic developmental disorder, not otherwise specified. And we were relieved at this point because we finally knew what I had and how we could go about treating it. The next 16 years was definitely challenging. I spent most of the next 16 years in very intense occupational, physical, and speech therapy. But you know what? It really just, I think more than anything, what I've learned through my journey of living with autism to this point is that, and I see this every day with my mentees and even my younger mentees who are nonverbal, who are just going through so many different therapies right now to progress as much as they can, is that there's a lot of hope in our community right now. Honestly, with 1 in 68 individuals diagnosed with autism, a lot of the times parents come up to me and they're like, is there hope for my son? Is there hope for my daughter? And I can honestly tell you today that we have a lot of hope and we have a lot of light at the end of the tunnel because of organizations such as Autism Speaks. So honestly, I grew up with a stutter. I grew up with a lot of issues, not only social and communication, but also sensory integration difficulties. But because of 16 years of therapy, because of my parents, my mom, who's here tonight manning the camera behind us.
Hi. I'm just driving. It took us 3 hours to get here.
She loves when I do this because she
Oh, yeah, I love it. Thanks, Dad.
You know, it's my responsibility to show up.
Yeah,
But because of them, they created a wheel when there wasn't a wheel really for our autism community. When I was diagnosed, the numbers were 1 in every 1,000 individuals being diagnosed. Not the 1 in 68 today, not the 3.5 million Americans who currently have autism in the United States today, and not the 70 million individuals who have autism currently worldwide. Because of people like my parents, I was able to succeed in my life and able to progress in the best way that I could. And honestly, when I became an adult, that's when I started walking out for Autism Speaks, because growing up, I didn't know anyone with autism. I was basically alone, And with the walks, I gained a community. And that's one of the biggest things we always say. I gained a community of people who I never even realized were out there. And that's when I started forming a walk team for my college. I walked with them for 4 years. When I went to go get my master's, I walked with them for another 2 years. And then finally, once I finished my master's program, I got a full-time job with Autism Speaks as a social media coordinator. So I could pursue my dreams. And my dream when I was young was to do something in marketing. And today I get to do that while getting to talk to amazing people like yourselves across the country and talking about autism awareness. If I could just leave you with one thing that I hope all of you take to note is that, you know, one of the things I say a lot is that autism can't define our community. Only we can define autism. And like Judith said, 41 states currently have autism reform. But that's not enough. That will never be enough. 50 will be enough. And that's the goal we need to have every single day. And I was just giving a talk, it's funny, I was giving a talk yesterday at St. John's University. And what I said was, what I finished my speech saying that is, there's no better time to start fighting for our community than right now. Because autism is growing. It's constantly growing. We need to be here for our community. We need to be here for our families. But most importantly, we need to be here for the over 70 million individuals who currently have autism. It takes a village, but you know what? We can do it. Some of you who have been walking here for 10 years know just what I'm talking about. It does take a village, it does take a community. But let me tell you, by the fundraising that you're doing tonight, by the fundraising you're doing when you're going to have your walk in June, you're making a difference for our community. Because 41 states, autism reform, it's all because of you guys. It's because of the grassroots advocacy we have in all these states. So, finally, just don't let autism be our community. You guys are here because you care. And you know what? That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Let's get that out to our communities. And let's make the world a better place for everyone who's affected by autism. Thank you guys so much.